could see that there's features between the 50 hertz and 20 hertz range right here that are repeated. Now it's going to commercial, so it's changed there. I think it was sports before that. Now what we're seeing is an emphasis of the audio signal in the subaudible range, which is fine. These are commercials, a Ford commercial, okay. So I'm just going to let this run and play, and people that are watching this can make up their own mind and seeing if these anomalies are have probable mark to study it more, and to see if there's exotic subliminal programming going on, especially with associated imaging of the subaudio and what the person observes. Whether that rewires our brains, developing minds is another question. I'm just going to go into the second phase of the study eventually, where I have participants that observe the same material per participant, and the control would be the same material with the subaudible range removed from the clips and played back. And see, that's interesting right there. You see these bars at specific frequencies, these tones that you don't hear, but your nervous system potentially picks up on. And that's what this screen over here is going to be for. That's going to be the EEG. It's going to have probes on the frontal lobe from alpha to theta readout. Not too sure what kind of charting I'm going to do with that. Might do FFT because that's what this is doing. Just to see if there's first strong correlation between what somebody feels when they're watching TV with the subaudible range and how their nervous system responds from the frontal lobe. Causation will be established from the control group. For example, it would be a double blind, or not a single blind. The participants wouldn't know which one of the footage they're watching contains or doesn't contain the subaudible range. I'll be using FFmpeg for that to apply the high-pass filter for the control media. So right now there's definitely audio going on right here, but the programming that's on right now is not demonstrating anything in the subaudible range, below the hearing range. I started at 100 hertz because, going down in the chart, I know that some people could hear some things at 100 hertz, but, I can't. But as you go down towards like 70 hertz, certainly the 50 hertz range, that's that red line right there, and then 20 hertz range. The patents that I researched from the Department of Defense, which is under a fictitious author, originally drafted in the 60s and 70s, from what I read as part of Operation Mockingbird, is that anything below, between the 1 hertz and the 10 hertz range is being documented as inducing certain types of emotions in the nervous system. Yeah, that's my cat Keto. Yeah. Yeah, Keto from my friend Andy. It's a rescue. What's up, Keto? Yeah. You hungry again? Or you just want attention? You just want attention. Alright. You wanna play? Okay. So again, if you're just tuning in, I'm looking at commercial television and breaking down the subaudible range. So that's the audio signal bar right there. Anything below this is the FFT chart from 100 hertz all the way down to 0 hertz. And below the first red line is a 20 hertz, and below the second red line is below the 50 hertz. Anything below the 20 hertz has been documented in patents to induce nervous system response, such as evoking in a person certain emotions, and whether if that is damaged and rewiring people's brains as developed for adults, with associated imagery on the screen. That has yet to be seen. The purpose of my study is to establish if there's causation between commercial media nervous system and the subaudio range. This screen right here will eventually be the EEG output of participants, and there will be a control pool of media that I would know, but they wouldn't, of the below the subaudio range removed using FFmpeg high pass filter, only allowing anything above 100 hertz to remain in the audio. So that's going to be the control, and we'll see what happens when the study is conducted. There is an anomalous activity that I looked at earlier in the first phase of the study that establishes that anomalies do occur that are not repeated from the audible signal range down to the subaudible range, that are unique signatures. And we've already seen some of that already in this video. And for the sake of this being a live video and not knowing if people are watching right now, when you see like bars at specific frequencies below the audible range coming through the FFT, that's an indication that there could be possible manipulation going on with our nervous system in order to induce certain emotions, and again, associating that with the programming. I'll let this roll for a bit longer, just so you can see. We're watching Fox 32, Chicago at the moment, but I could turn to other channels too, and we could observe other channels and programming and see how that might differ. I know that I looked briefly before in a prior survey like this one of public access TV like PBS and WTTW. From what I witnessed and recorded, there was nothing below the subaudible range for those channels. It seems to be strictly aligned with commercial TV. I'm going to change the channel now. Let's see what else is in here. Let's see how the remote works here. I'm going to point at the device. There we are. So this is channel 26, 23. Let's go to channel, one of the WTTW channels. We'll go to the first one here. And see if there's anything exhibited in the subaudible. So far there's audio going on. You can see the top there. Oh, there's a line bar right there. Okay, that's exactly at 50 hertz and below. And there's a little bit above 50 hertz. And then around 60 hertz there's a bunch of bars. And then now we're down back to below the 50 hertz and slightly above. So on and so forth. I'm going to click some other channels here, part of WTTW. This is WTTW number 2. See what we got exhibited here. Okay, so far nothing much. Also, you can see how it's scrolling. What's going on in the moment just appears right here. What you're seeing over here when it scrolls is the history. So WTTW number 2. Oh, just as I opened my mouth, there's a little bit of activity there in the subaudible range. Sometimes the subaudible range is used for emphasis, like very loud bass, or not very loud, but very potent bass signatures that are kosher, I suppose, if they are repeated features of the audible range, or at least some part of it. But when you get anomalous features, then you got to wonder, why what they're trying to do there with the probable nervous system response. Okay, let's go up another one. This is WTTW 3. I think there's 4 WTTWs going on. And this might be a commercial, or an infomercial of some sort. Nothing going on. Well, as soon as I open my mouth, there's something. Okay. So that's even going lower. That's right above the 20 hertz range. Well, that activity there. And it doesn't seem to be a continuous part throughout. They're really hitting that low end right there. It's definitely not in the audible range, but in the nervous system range. Okay, I'm going to go to channel 9. The first channel 9, the main one right there. Channel 9-1. Let's see, we got, what's the program in here? This looks like a television show of sorts. Alright, not much going on there. It might just be little dips from the audible range is all that is right there, I think. So nothing going on there. Alright, now I'm going to go to PBS. It's channel 20 something, isn't it? I don't remember. It goes to 23. I don't know what 23 is. Oh, it looks like MeTV or something. So we'll look at MeTV for a little bit, just because this is early programming. Perhaps it's before any of this sub-audible activity was going on in the programming. Even though Mockingbird has its roots in the 60s. This might be too early for the technology to evolve to that point. Okay. Yep, so I think we've seen enough of this. This looks like the show MASH. And there's really not much going on in the sub-audible range. So we'll go back to channel 32 just to close up from where we started. Okay. Chicago Fox and Tele-Vision. Okay. Let me see if I can adjust the video a little bit so it comes through nicely. There you go. Okay, is it better? Yeah, it's better. Okay, cool. Let's see what's going on now. It's not all washed out. Okay, so far nothing going on in the sub-audible range. Oh, here we go. As soon as they're looking at something, I can't tell what that is. Is that a roller coaster ride or a commercial? Looks like a commercial. Okay. So commercials definitely have a motive to do some of the sub-audible stuff. Whether if it's nervous system, we don't know yet with this commercial anyways. I know a lot of commercials do have it. Okay, I see a lot of repeated signals going upward and then downward again. You know, maybe about 6 or 8 repeats for a moment there, and then it starts tapering off and then building up again. That's a real strong one right there. You know, strong magnitude. So it's some kind of sporting app. Okay. And then you got high intensities around just hovering at the 50 hertz range. All right. So I believe I've demonstrated enough that there's a worthy cause to study this activity and to see if it has potential to do harm to the public over a long period of time. Again, I won't be doing that particular study. I'm just establishing whether or not if there's nervous system response associated with the sub-audible range of commercial television. So that's it. I'm going to stop the stream. Here we go.